All right, let's dive right into this explainer and explore how breaking away from the crowd isn't some sort of weakness, but actually a profound superpower for both personal and societal growth. We live in a world that is constantly pressuring us to blend in, to follow the established rules and just seek the comfort of the herd. But what if doing the exact opposite is what literally unlocks your true potential? Today, we're going to dissect the psychology and the real-world impact of choosing your very own unique path.
We're kicking things off with this brilliant thought from Ralph Waldo Emerson from his classic essay on self-reliance. He reminds us that true creators are so often misunderstood by a society that simply prefers the cozy comfort of conformity. Emerson argued that society actually works against the individual, often treating nonconformists as a threat that needs to be domesticated. But to be truly great, you have to be willing to be misunderstood. You absolutely must stay true to your inner law and take profound pride in your unique perspective.
Section 1. The Trap of Conformity.
So, living a life simply to fit in, what we usually call groupthink, might feel safe in the moment, but it's actively suppressing your true potential. As highlighted in the Strong Life Project, the real enemy of an amazing life is just a good life. It's what's referred to as a 51% mediocre life. You're working a job you don't love, living this rote, automatic existence simply because, well, it's what everyone else is doing. Groupthink creates this illusion of agreement, where nonconformists are quickly brought into line, people stop asking the hard questions, and our true human brilliance is just completely stifled.
Section 2. Awakening Your Inner Law. Now, psychologist Kazimir Dombrowski proposed a truly fascinating concept here. He argued that the anxiety you feel when you don't fit in is actually a necessary and totally positive step toward building your authentic self. Unlike a lot of mainstream psychology that views anxiety purely as a negative symptom you need to cure, Dombrowski's theory of positive disintegration says, hey, these psychological crises, they are absolutely required for mental growth. You basically have to break down or disintegrate your socialized automatic worldview to build something new and real.
And this illustrates a really powerful contrast. On one hand, you have primary integration. That's the herd personality, where your conscience is entirely externalized by society. You just do what society tells you is right. But if you navigate the messy, difficult process of positive disintegration, you reach secondary integration. That is your autonomous self. It's driven by your own conscious, chosen hierarchy of values. You do what's right because your inner law demands it, completely regardless of what the herd is up to.
To actually make that leap, you've got to cultivate what's called the third factor. It's this serene yet fierce motivation to grow and find your own path, even when it causes friction with the world around you. True awakening requires stepping away from all that environmental conditioning. This third factor is a drive so incredibly powerful that it pushes you to become your true self at almost any cost. It's a fundamental refusal to just adjust to a society that doesn't align with your deepest values.
Section 3. Choosing right over easy.
Let's look at how this plays out in the real world with a legendary historical decision. When the Titanic sank, two nearby ships chose self-preservation. The Samson was a mere 7 miles away, but it fled to hide its illegal seal hunting. The Californian was just 14 miles away, but waited until morning to avoid the dark ice. But Captain Arthur Rostron of the Carpathia, he was 58 miles away, heading in the exact opposite direction. When they heard the distress call, they didn't rely on groupthink or take the easy way out.
Mr. Dean, turn the ship around. Those simple, decisive words from Captain Rostron prove that true courage often means completely abandoning your own comfort for a higher moral duty. He didn't hesitate, he didn't call a committee meeting to check if it was socially acceptable to risk his own ship. He immediately consulted his inner law, and he acted.
And the impact of this nonconformity was profound. 705 lives were saved that night simply because one man followed his inner law. He navigated those treacherous ice fields in the pitch black because something else was more important than his own fear. It's literally the ultimate example of secondary integration in action.
Section 4. Blazing a new trail.
Now, think about Harshini Kanhekar. She faced immense mockery simply because she wanted to wear a uniform, but she completely refused to listen to the word can't. Her dream was to attend the National Fire Service College in Nagpur. The problem? It was an exclusively all-male institution. She faced massive pushback from her own family. There wasn't even a women's hostel on campus. People really expected the heavy water hoses and mock drill dummies to break her spirit, openly mocking the very idea of a woman in this role. But by having absolute faith in her dream,
Her nonconformity became a revolutionary act. She didn't just change her own life, she permanently changed the status quo to become India's first woman firefighter. She swam against the tide, completely ignoring the herd that told her to stay in her lane. Her courage to be different paved a brand new road for generations of women to follow.
Section 5. The Courage to Speak.
We can't talk about moral courage without looking at Malala Yousafzai. Her story is a profound example of an individual refusing to let fear overwrite her inner truth. At just 11 years old, while living under Taliban rule in the Swat Valley where girls' education was strictly banned, she began blogging for the BBC. By 15, she was targeted and actually shot in the head simply for advocating for her right to learn. I mean, most adults wouldn't have the courage to speak up in a comfortable boardroom, yet here was a child defying heavily armed extremists.
And the attempt to brutally suppress her voice? It actually catalyzed an unstoppable global movement. She survived, and instead of hiding away, her voice grew infinitely louder. She went on to become the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate in history. She transformed her horrific personal adversity into a worldwide awakening, proving beyond a doubt that one brave voice holding on to its inner truth can literally shake the world.
Section 6. Embrace your unique path.
When you act with that kind of moral courage, you create what's called an upstander effect. It gives everyone else around you the unspoken permission to be brave too. Just like social forces can create a bystander effect where everyone ignores a problem, those exact same forces can be reversed. When you stand up against harmful policies or societal bullying, you break the illusion of groupthink. Your courage acts as a catalyst, expanding the upstander effect and showing others that a different, better path is actually possible.
So here's our ultimate takeaway. Stepping out of the herd and being different isn't a weakness. It is arguably the greatest gift you can give the world. Whether it's navigating your own complex psychological growth, turning a massive ship around in the freezing dark, breaking strict gender barriers, or standing up to violent extremism, embracing your individuality is a profound, undeniable strength. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final thought to carry with you today. Which path will you choose? Will you settle for that 51% mediocre life dictated by the herd? Or will you embrace the beautiful, difficult, and revolutionary act of following your own inner law? The choice is entirely yours. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.